you all in the name of the Lord. My name is Maggie Seure, and I hope you are doing well. I am doing fine myself. Welcome to my YouTube channel. And I just came back in, surprisingly. You see, there is a video that I had posted, and accidentally the video got deleted. And so I am just redoing a video that I did 3 hours ago. And this is um, this is a video on marriage lessons, and I want to let you know that I'm going to do a series of marriage lessons from my own experiences. And this is the first one, and the topic is today, never tell it to the world. What I mean is this: never be tempted to speak out the issues of your marriage to the world. What I mean about the world is telling it to people that are unknown to you. I'm saying this because this is one of the lessons that God has taken me through from the time that that my marriage hit the turbulence. And this video is targeted to people who maybe their marriage is going through a tough time. That it is never a solution to tell it to the public what you are going through in your marriage. And I am not saying that you should not share it with anybody. You're supposed to share your issue with either a parent, close family, the people that you know will help you sort the issue, or you can share with a spiritual person, a pastor, a servant of God that is going to pray for you, or a counselor. But you cannot go ahead and speak it to the public. And I know with my case, I am a public person. I am known in the Kalenjin community, and the time when my marriage began to have issues, I remember there was an urge to explain myself, because there were rumors here and there where people would say why this lady doesn't want to stay in her marriage, she's here and there. They had a malicious description of the things they had overheard about my marriage. And so I had this urge of wanting to explain myself, you see, like wanting to describe what was going on. And I was still in a lot of anger during that period. And I remember, so through the urge, it is funny how you feel when you're feeling angry. You want, because you're so annoyed at your spouse for the things that have happened, or for the misunderstandings or whatever. Yes, it is true, you may hate them, you may be angry, but now telling it to the public is like you are recruiting the whole world to hate him together with you. And let me give an instance of this moment when my story was in the newspaper. And I don't want to mention the name of the newspaper, because I don't want to sound like I want to victimize some people. So I remember this morning, I just woke up like a normal day. And in the morning, before I even went online, we were having breakfast, and I received a call from a friend. And the friend was like, "Ay, Maggie, akipole sana, I'm so sorry." I'm like, "Sorry for what?" And then she's like, see what, it's all over Facebook, whatever you went through. What? I froze. You see, I was like, oh my God, yes, I had spoken my story in the media, out of that urge to want to explain. People need to know what exactly happened, because they are lying against me. But now the reality hit. When I went to social media, oh my goodness, that story had been shared, links had been shared all across, even the links was across to people even in the States. I remember the newspaper was on the street, and it was just on top there. My story was right there. What did I do? I cried like a baby. I remember I locked myself in my room, and I was crying, because the things that were being said against my spouse they mocked him. You see, they were mocking him, they were abusing abusive words, name calling. And to Majabu, it really hurt me. It hurt me, because this is somebody I've lived with, this is father of my kids, and now he's facing the wrath of the world. And it hit me that I had done a mistake. It shouldn't have gone this far. So I locked myself in my room, I cried. It's not even crying, I groaned. I was groaning and repenting and asking God, forgive me, God. I really never thought it will get this deep, and I was repenting and telling God to forgive me. And I remember I had to ask my husband for forgiveness, because even though we had not sorted our issues, I felt like I shouldn't have gone that far. Because you see, it was as if I had brought him down. You see, I had brought down his ego. I had like his reputation had been affected. And I know as a Christian or a born again Christian, what I did is it is like revenge. You see, yes, I was hurt, I was disappointed, and all this and that. But what I did, it was like in return, paying back evil. You see, it was like I'm paying them back because you can imagine the people that were damaged. It was not only him, family, and everybody related to him. You see, many people were hurt in the process just because I had to speak out. And I have to mention one instance where I was called for a radio interview, and I thought it was just a normal radio interview. I'm a musician, and when I got there, kumbe, it was about my story, and I was being asked questions, and I had to talk about it again, and it was like I am going over it again. And I'm telling you, the damage was so bad that even until today, it takes long for your spouse to really heal from what happened. Because let me tell you, today maybe you're going through issues with your marriage, and one thing you never know is that you do not know if God will restore that marriage. In case God restores your marriage, in case it was the will of God for you to be with that person, and he goes ahead and restores you too, how much damage will it be to start repairing? You see, like start correcting the things you said. You see, because you may have said things that really have caused a lot of damage, because everybody has talked about it, people have mocked the situation. And there is something through the years of our separation, God really has taken me through a lot of lessons, actually. And I never knew that God was going to restore my marriage in this major way. But one of the lessons, like I said, is this big regret of telling it to the world. I'm not saying don't tell it to anyone, but tell it to the right people. Tell it to close family. If the family will want to taint you and maybe share it out to other people, then that is their own cross. They will carry the cross. But if you can just keep and pray, keep to close family, to people who are helping you through the process, and pray more about it and not talk it out. You see, you may not be a public person, but you could also be tempted. Maybe you won't talk about it on radio or on a newspaper, but you may be tempted to talk about it to your neighbors, people around your all over. And you see, at the end of it all, you will have been justified, like it will be like, yeah, you've talked about it, umemaliza, umemchafua, people now have known him as this kind of a person. But then at the end of the day, what have you achieved? Because after my analysis, after all that, actually I learned that no matter the fact that I shared to the public, I didn't get any help from them. These are just people I gave them a chance for opinion that even made things to be worse. It was like it's not like there's any help you'll get from people outside there. And so this is from the lessons I've been learning over the time of our separation, I've learned a lot from the Word of God. And there's this verse that really made me so guilty, like it's so deep. Proverbs chapter 12 verse 4. The Bible says, an excellent wife is the crown of her husband, but she who shames him is like rottenness in his bones. Like an excellent wife is like a crown, but if you shame him, it's like, but he who shames him is like rottenness in his bones. You see, you become like a disgrace in his life for just shaming him. And most of the time, we focus on the weaknesses of our spouses, and we expose the weaknesses. At the end of the day, you will have shamed him. And further, there is also a verse in the Bible, still in Proverbs chapter 21 verse 9 says, it is better to live in a corner of a roof than in a house shared with contentious women. I was looking at the word contentious. It means likely to cause argument or controversial. You see, you may have a right to argue. There are times that that you are really right and you want to argue. But actually all these, the argument, complaining and everything, and I know I did that a lot. But you see, these are things that gets us into trouble. A woman should be calm, a woman should be quiet, a woman should find a way to handle her issues with wisdom. I'm not saying that you should die in a situation just because you're not supposed to speak. But this is about wisdom, speaking to the right people. Still, chapter 21 verse 19 says, it is better to live in a desert land than with a contentious and vexing woman. Vexing means what? Vexing is causing annoyance, frustration, or worry. You see the way they are putting such kind of a woman, somebody who is complaining. Yes, you may be right, you may be going through that thing, but try to calm down so that you may make the right decisions. And it's amazing how Proverbs just has this verse repeated and repeated. Because again in 25, in chapter 25, verse 24, it says verse 24, it says, it is better to live in a corner of the roof than in a house shared with contentious woman. So this thing has been so stressed. And for me, as I was learning through so many things in my life, these are some of the things that I realized I went overboard. And I knew God was trying to take me through these lessons. And this is one of those lessons that, my sisters and brothers, it is one of those lessons that I really regretted until today. And of course, my spouse and I are restored. We are doing well. For the record, I have to mention that. But you see, it takes time for them to heal. It takes time for them to heal from the impact of that. Because there is one for your spouse to receive honor from out there, it normally comes from the woman, how you regard them. But you see, during such moments of arguments and fighting, you realize that you have tainted their reputation, and it may be hard for them to really be confident again about their lives. And so I thought that I should come out today and just point it out that if you're going through something, kindly do not let it go overboard. Do not let it go overboard. Handle it in a very mature and in wisdom, and pray a lot about the situation, because the faster you act, in wisdom, is the faster God is going to sort your situation. And this is exactly for people who God plans to restore their marriages. Marriages break a lot, and we tend to think it's over. You see, when you're speaking out, you're angry, I'm done, and you really know you're done with this, and so you're tempted to speak about it and let people know. But kuna vile your words may come out in a way, your words can be so final, and words are so powerful, what you speak with your mouth. So whatever you're going through today, you really never know what God is going to do. It could be your marriage is just going through something and God is going to restore. And like I always say, it's not you who restores your marriage. I will be sharing more and more lessons on how my marriage was restored, and everything that I've been learning through the process, because I know you may be having a lot of questions of what about this, how did this happen. But I know that I will be sharing more of that in the next few weeks, about the lessons from my marriage. This is a series that I will be sharing. And so I just want to let you know that do not finalize. In the place you are today, I know you're done. If you know my story, mine was, it was like in a situation, I am done. And so you're tempted to just finalize in the way you speak. But later, what if God goes ahead and does his will? Because when you're praying God and realize, what? This has been the will of God for this marriage to work. It will be so better if you had been careful not to tell it to the world. The world out there is very cruel. When you share with people who don't care about you, who don't know you, they will really instill pain in you. And the media never forgets. So today I just came out to advise you that if your marriage is going through a tough time, do not share the weaknesses of your spouse. Do not let it out. Do not through pain. Through pain you're so tempted to just express it all, but do not. Just keep it to yourself. Just pray a lot about it and share with the right people, so that if God goes ahead and restores you, it will be very easy to heal in the process. So I thank you so much. And I had to redo this video. I know some of you had watched the first one, and it got deleted accidentally, and I didn't want to seem like I deleted that video, and this message had to be out today. So that's why I came and did a redo of the message. So thank you so much for taking your time to listen. Please share it with somebody that may need to hear this, so that they can handle their spouses with a lot of kuwafunika. You see, that to cover everything that is going on until not even until, but just cover it, because as a Christian we are supposed to do that. So thank you so much. God bless you, and I'll see you again very soon in another topic on marriage. God bless you, and please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you.